Hello viewers, welcome to Amadike Studio. Today I'll be walking you through the steps you need to edit videos on Premiere Pro. So whether you're a beginner or a pro that just needs a refresher, this tutorial is for you. Well, before I dive into Premiere Pro, there is something I love doing that I want you to adopt, and that is I love being organized. So I organize my videos first into folders. It's always good to organize your videos into separate folders so that it will be easy for you. I will also show you how you can create that in Premiere Pro. We call it bin inside Premiere Pro, but what I do first is I go to the folder where I have some videos that I need to organize. You can see some of these folders here. I've already named them, as well as the videos inside there. So what I need to do is, like this one now, Burna Boy versus Wizkid, I'll just sort them. The video versus Burna. I had already named this folder before now and the video. So if you open this, you see this video now. So it could be that you had maybe wide angle shots, close-up shots, and maybe drone shots. You can decide to name the folders just like the pattern in which you took those shots. It could be drone shots, it could be anything, just to organize your clips. So the next thing you need to do is open Premiere Pro real quick. It's loading. Alright, I've launched my Premiere Pro. You can see the welcome screen. All you need to do is just create a new project. When you click on new project, you can see the project name here and the sequence name. So this is Premiere Pro 2023, and the user interface is slightly different from the previous ones. This is a more updated version of Premiere Pro. So even if you're using previous versions, it's still the same process. Now I'm going to name my project, let's just say test project. It could be anything. Then you name your sequence here. You can name it anything you want, but I'll just leave it like this for now. I'll just create this test project and it will open this interface. Alright, let me start by addressing what I just mentioned, interface. There is something we call workspace. What you would know as interface is called workspace in Premiere Pro, and we have different workspaces. I'm currently on editing. You might be asking, what is this workspace? So a workspace is just this area you're seeing on the screen now. It's just everything that you can use to manipulate your video to your desired output. So we have different workspaces. If you just go to window, click workspaces, you see assembly, audio, captions, editing, effects. Another way of accessing workspace is clicking here. Then you can see what you just saw now: learning, assembly, editing, color. So I'm currently on editing. When you go to color, you tend to color grade here. Then effects, you are majorly concerned on effects, adding effects. We will come to that real quick. Then audio, captions, and graphics. This is where you can add titles to your videos and so many others. Now you would want to stay on editing workspaces because this is where you have almost everything in one, but you can also manipulate or customize your workspace the way you want. Like you can decide to take this effect control, move it to this place. You can see what I just did. You can drag each and every one of these. So we call these things are like panel, so you can undock them. If I right click, you can see close panel, undock panel. Undocking is just like I want this panel to come out of this place itself. You can either drag it to this place, you can push it anywhere. So the next thing you need to know is how to import your videos and files into Premiere Pro. To import media, there are two ways you can do this. It's either you double click here and look for the folder where you saved your videos. Mine was desktop, FX30, 10 vids. Then you can see some of those videos here. So I can decide to import single videos. You can decide to import a folder. You can see here, import folder. Then you can decide to import a video and open it. Open does not mean it to play, rather to import. Like if I import this video and say open, it comes here. You can equally do the same for a folder. So you see why I had to organize the videos into different folders. Assuming I had say 100 videos in this particular folder, it will just be easy for me to say import folder. There you have it. So but inside that folder there is just one video. That is why this one video is shown here. So now I'm going to show you another way of importing videos. You can just go to, let me look for a folder that has numerous videos. Okay, let's say I want to import this folder now. I can drag it like this. We'll call it drag and drop and put it inside Premiere Pro. Now you can see this folder here. Now in Premiere Pro, we don't call them folder, we call them bin, bin. You can see Obi Kubana versus E-Money bin. So bin is another name for folder here, and you can create it manually actually by right clicking here. You can see new bin here. So when you click new bin, you can name it whatever you want. Test bin. Now the next thing you need to know is how to create a sequence. What is sequence? Now imagine buying a piece of land and you want to start building houses. Imagine you bought 2 plots of land and you want to build, let me say, 4 mansions. You have to align those buildings in a way that it will not be catastrophic, like they will not join or they will not obstruct each other. First of all, you do your foundation, then you start laying blocks. After laying blocks, you do your decking and roof the house and all whatnot. So I'm just using this as an example to explain this. The same thing is sequence. Sequence is that piece of land where you want to build those houses. It could be 4 plots of land, it could be 10 plots of land, but in this case you can have numerous sequences. But inside one sequence you can have many footages, that is many videos, many files, many pictures and so on. Just like how in a piece of land you can build your house, park your cars, keep a lot of things inside one plot of land. So just take that idea into Premiere Pro and let's create this sequence. Now creating your sequence, there are 2 ways you can do it. You can just go to File, New, Sequence. Then you can decide to select from any of these, or you just go to Settings. If you already know the parameters of your video, you can choose 25 frames per second and use 1920 by 1080. Then you can leave every other setting the way it is and you click Enter. Now you've created the sequence. You can imagine this as the plot of land that you can put a lot of buildings inside it. Now another way of creating a sequence, let me undo that, is if I have this video and I know that this video is 1080, was shot on 1080, 25 frames per second, I can just right click here, then go to new sequence from clip, new sequence from clip. I'm going to undo that now. So when you create your sequence, whichever way, but the fastest way is just this way I showed you. Right click and new sequence from clip. Anyways, if you follow the previous method I told you, all you need to do is drag and drop any video into your sequence. It could be picture, it could be whatever you want to do, it could be audio. Then when you drag and drop, your video is now ready to edit. Now before we start cutting and joining and adding effects and manipulating our video, you need to understand the main parts, the main portions of Premiere Pro. What do I mean? Now if you look at this here, this blue line, you can see a blue line that covers this whole place. That portion is known as your source monitor. This is where you can see a video that is in your project manager. So we already know that any video you imported into Premiere Pro stays here. When you double click on that video, you are going to see it here. Now assuming I have not created a sequence before and I have imported this video, I can quickly see it in my project monitor and play the video to see if it's what I want to work with. You get? So even when you have not imported your video into the sequence, you can still come here, drag and drop your video into your sequence. You can see what I just did. By the end of this video, I'll be showing you how you can drag and drop only videos or audios from your source monitor, and as well as how you can cut and crop some portion of your video even before bringing it into your sequence. Now this side here, this one here, you can see this blue line again is now showing that this guy here is active. So this one is called your program monitor, and that is where any video you are editing, that is where you're going to be watching the manipulations you are putting into this video come to effect. And this blue line now here is that piece of land we just bought to build our house. That is the sequence. We call it sequence. This is where you can see the titles, where you see the videos, the pictures, everything that was used to create a video, that was used to edit a video, comes inside this sequence. And if you notice, you will see V1, V2, V3. These are video tracks. A1, A2, A3. These are audio tracks. We call them tracks. All right. So if you notice, this guy here is 2, meaning that the one up is video, the one down is audio. If I try to push 2 of them up, it won't work because they can never cross boundaries. So with that being said, we can now start editing our videos, and I'm going to be showing you a lot of tools that will make editing easy for you, and there are shortcuts, of course. The first tool you need to get used to is this selection tool here. Very important. This guy is like what you need to use to drag and drop things, just like we've been doing since. This is what you need to, in fact, is the most used tool in Premiere Pro, because like the word implies, selection, use it to select objects in your sequence. For example, now if I click on this tool here and I want to adjust this whole video towards the right, I can't do that because this tool does another thing, and you're going to see what it does now. So after seeing the selection tool, another important tool you need to know is this one here, the eraser tool, which I just selected. And what does it do? It does this. It splits your video into 2. All right, and let's assume I just splitted this part and I don't need this part of the video. I can see this space here. This space here is, we call it a ripple. Ripple is just like a space or an allowance. So we want to close this ripple here. I can right click and ripple delete. What I just did can be done faster in another way. I will just undo that. So what I did was to split this video here using the eraser tool, and the shortcut for getting the eraser tool is C. You can use C. You can see as soon as I typed C on my keyboard, it went to the eraser tool. I can use V for the selection tool. So it's good you know how to use the shortcuts of these tools, but I also advise you know how to locate them personally. And why shortcuts are also good is because they save time. Of course, time. You know how much time you put in editing. So knowing shortcuts will go a long way for you. So like I was saying, the ripple edit. Now another way I can achieve that is by using a ripple edit tool. So when you go here, you see what we call the ripple edit tool. In case you did not see the tool, because there are other tools that are hidden here too. That is why you are seeing a drop down arrow here. What you need to do is press the Alt button and click this. You see other tools here, like the rate stretch tool. This is the speed tool, which we'll use soon. So but what I'm interested in for now is the ripple edit tool. And what does this do? The ripple edit tool helps you to just do this. Observe. Remember, what we want to achieve is we want to cut this video and delete this part, and then do this. We did 3 things, 3 steps there. Split the video, delete the first part, and move it back to the beginning. But the ripple edit tool can help us do this in 1 step, not 3 steps. When I select this, or you can click B on your keyboard to select the ripple edit tool, look at what it does. And I just did that in 1 step. So knowing your tool will save you a lot of time and make your editing experience better. Now the next tool we need to know here is the rate stretch tool. If you want to speed up your video for some reason or slow it down, the rate stretch tool is what you need. Now quickly run to this guy here again. You can hold Alt to look for the rate stretch tool, but clicking R on your keyboard is a faster way to access the rate stretch tool. So what do I do? I'm just gonna do this. When I drag this longer, this video tends to slow down. Then if I reduce it, it tends to move faster. So that's a faster way of increasing the speed of your video or even slowing it down. There's another way of doing it. All you need to do is right click on your video here and look for speed/duration. So when I take this guy up now, what am I trying to do? I have now increased the percentage at which the video plays. That means it's going to be playing faster. When you reduce this percentage here, that means you are trying to reduce the rate at which the video play. You can even type it manually if you want. Alright, so those are the 2 ways you can manipulate the speed of a video. So another important tool here is the text tool or the type tool. If you want to type, this guy here is very important as you use it to add text. So when you select the type tool or T for shortcut, you just click on any part of your video to add the text. Let me just type test, and then when you add it, you're going to see something appear on your timeline. If I zoom into this, you see a text file there. You can go ahead to manipulate this text and customize it to your choice from the captions and graphics tab, or just the graphics tabs if you want it to just be the text alone. So when you go to this tab, you can see this. You can add things like strokes, shadows, change the font, and do a lot of manipulations here. So when it comes to adding and designing text in Premiere Pro, especially the designing part, your creativity is your limit. It depends on how creative you are, because graphics on its own is like another skill. Alright, if you're still watching at this point, please subscribe. Click that subscribe button and press the bell icon so that you'll be notified whenever we drop contents like this. Alright, the next thing you need to know how to do is adding effects and transitions to your videos. So transition is how smoothly your video moves from one scene to another. It makes a video very professional and engages the viewer. Let's say we want to add transitions to this video and we have some cuts here like this. And you can only add transition where you have different cuts or different scenes.
Now what shows? Whiskey is not.
So I can add a particular transition there, although these videos are the same. If I have video with different scenes, like let's say I import another video here now, and I want to move into this video, you can see the cut there is not professional. So I'll make it a bit more professional with transition. What you need to do is just go to this place, go to effects, and go to video transitions. But if you know the transition you are looking for, you can just search them here. It's easier. We have a lot. We have from dissolve, immerse video, iris, a lot of them. So I'm just going to search deep to black or deep to white. So this is one of the popular transitions that is used in Premiere Pro. And when you play this,
what shows?
You can see the transitioning to another scene. I'm just going to drag this to the middle of this. Now watch what I'm going to do. Click on this guy, go to effect control, center at cut. Now what did I just do? I know it might seem like I just did the magic, but I did not. What I did is this transition here, I wanted it to be at the center so that the transitioning or that switch will be smooth. You understand? And you can do that by clicking this and going to effect control. I will talk about these parts soon in this video. So you see that there are many transitions you can find in Premiere Pro. You can play around with them. Now let's say how to add audio to our video. Let's assume you have a background song you want to be playing as your video is also playing. What you need to do is, the way you imported your video files, that is still the same way you import the audio files. So assuming I have an audio file that I want to import into my project here, like I told you, you can double click here, locate the file, or just search for the video where you saved it. So let's assume this is the file I want to import. I can just drag and drop here, and there you go. So to drag your audio here, once you've double clicked this icon here, it's going to show on this your source monitor. Then drag the audio here and then place it on this place. Now how do you reduce the volume of your audio? Very simple. What you need to do is click on that audio file, right click, and you see audio gain here. You see this pop-up box here. This is where you can manipulate the volume, or for shortcut just press G after clicking the audio. Then you can adjust gain, or just directly set the gain to, let's assume I want to reduce it by 15 decibels. I will press -15, and you can see the sound wave of that audio going down. And meanwhile, to undo in Premiere Pro is Ctrl-Z, and to redo is Ctrl-Shift-Z, not Ctrl-Y. Some people would think it's Ctrl-Y. If I undo this, Ctrl-Z, you will see the sound wave very high, peaking high, and if I redo this, you can see it's low. So this is how you can reduce the volume of your audio.
Since his 2010 hit, holla at your boy. He is smooth.
Of course, you definitely look for an audio that suits the video. Now, the next thing to talk about is all these guys here. Like I've explained the source monitor, the effect control. This guy is a bit advanced in the sense that, like the word here implied, to effect, that is to apply controls. I can decide to do a lot of things to this video now. This is where the editing comes in. I can decide to change the position, increase it, scale it up, scale it down. I can decide to change it along the y-axis. This one is along the x-axis. Then you can decide to rotate the video. There are a lot of things you can do here, and you can decide to reduce the opacity of this video and manipulate so many things here. I won't be covering the so advanced part of editing in this video. Let's maintain that basic part. Now, the part everybody wants to hear, color grading your video. This is another essential part of editing, and it brings a particular tone. It gives your video a particular tone and makes it look cinematic. Color grading can make your video appear very professional, and I'm just going to give you a brief introduction into color grading. What is color grading? Color grading for me is basically a way of manipulating color and light. That's it. Color and light. You and I know that without light, we cannot identify color. That is visible light. So when you color grade, you are trying to play around with two basic things, just color and light. So what you need to do to color grade is go to the color workspace, and when you come here, by the right hand side, and remember, like I said, you can undock this, you can carry it whatever you want. That's what I'm doing, but I don't want to drop it, so I'm just okay with where it is. This guy is grouped into 6. You can see 6 ways you can color grade your video here. We have basic, creative, curves, color wheels and match, HSL and vignette, and this is HSL secondary, not just HSL. Now when you go to basic correction, even the tools in the basic correction are sufficient to color grade your video, but for advanced color grading, you definitely would go into all these parts. It all depends on your creativity when it comes to color grading. There is no, this is how it's done, this is how to do it, this is how it's usually done, this is the principle to color. No, it depends on your experience, exposure and creativity. So I'll just go through the basic color grading tools real quick. Now for temperature, this is just a way of making your video appear warm or cool. While tint tends to give your video a particular color shade or color tone. Let's assume I want to maintain this guy and make this video look a bit warm. You can see we've started color grading. Now saturation removes all the color or adds excessive color to your video. Now for my saturation, I just want to drop it a little bit. Like I said, it depends on your creativity. It depends on what you want. You can play around this as many times as you want. And remember, practice makes perfect. And if you notice, all these places I have just toggled or adjusted are under color. Now going into the light section, exposure, this is what it does. It tends to add more light to your video. While contrast, add this darker shade of coloration to your video. Can you see this? Then highlights tend to boost the already bright part of your videos, something like this. Shadows, very important. Shadow is another part of a video that can spoil it or make it. Now if you tend to reduce your shadow a bit, your video appears to look faded. So mind how you reduce your shadows. It's very important. It's part of the things in videos that play a key role in the quality. And things like exposure, in fact, everything are important, but be careful with shadows. Now these shadows here, if I drag it up, you can see this video is looking whitish. So having shadow is a good thing. It makes your video look realistic. Then you can play around with whites, blacks, and so on. Now let me just do a fast color grade on this. Alright, this is the before and after of this video. Before and after. Before and after. Before and after. So you can see the importance of color grading. It can move your video from this quality or this standard to that standard. That is huge. So learning this is a big advantage for you as a video editor. Okay, another important thing you need to know that will save you a lot of time and stress is this. When you want to import a video into your sequence, for example, this video now, you can just get a particular portion you need. Assuming I need from here to this place. Look at what I just did. I did mark in and I marked out. Marking is just like, okay, telling this guy I need this video from here, and I marked out and saying, and I want this video to stop here. Now I've identified a portion of this video I want to bring into my sequence. I now need to decide, do I want this video alone or do I want it with the audio? If I want video and audio together, I do this. I come to this place and drag. When I drag this, you can see two things moving together. That is video and audio. But if I want video only, you can see drag video only. If I drag this, I'm carrying the video without the sound. If I want audio only, I can also drag this and I'm taking audio only without the video. You can see it here. I'm moving the audio around. Now this is how you can save time for yourself, and this is what I said I'm going to show you, how you can drag and drop only video or only audio initially. Alright, at this point, if you are done editing your video and you want to export it, just look at the top left corner of your screen here. You are going to see import, edit and export. These are like the 3 stages a video will pass through when it's being edited in Premiere Pro. Of course, we've seen import. This is where you bring in your videos. Edit. This is where you manipulate and edit and create your desired output. And export is where you need to come before your video is produced. So at the top here is file name. This is where you can rename your file. You can call it test. And here you can change the location you want your video to export to. If you click it, it opens a folder where you can change the location. If you want to maintain a good quality, just leave it at match source, adaptive high bitrate, or you can select any other high quality preset here. Mind you that if you select adaptive medium bitrate, the size of your video will reduce, but it might also drop some quality. Like this is the size currently 4974 MB, which is 4.9 gig. When I select match source, adaptive medium bitrate, it drops to 3 gig. Now I'm going to show you how to actually reduce your video size manually and still get the best quality just now. But before that, you want to set your format to H.264. This is MP4. H.264 is MP4. Unless you were demanded to export this video on a particular format, you should export at H.264. H.264 can be played in most devices. Then for video, for your basic video settings, this one follows the settings of your sequence, so you don't need to touch anything here. Now if you have a high-end system like those gaming PC, you can use hardware encoding just like I'm using here. You have software encoding, but hardware encoding is faster because the hardware does the job. Because of those PCs that have extra RAMs, dedicated graphics RAMs like NVIDIA and Radeon. So leave every other thing the same, and like I said, if you want to drop the size of your video without losing much quality, you can do it here manually by reducing the bitrate. This is what actually determines the quality of your video. So make sure you don't drop your bitrate below 10. If you want to export your video at HD, you should leave your bitrate at 10. Of course, 4K videos will be higher than 10. You can also get extra settings for audio, multiplier captions, effects and so on, but with this you are good to go. You can actually send this video to media encoder to export even faster, but the difference might not be felt if you are using a high-end PC. Just hit export and your video starts exporting. So what I've just showed you today in this video is a tip of the iceberg. We've not even scratched the surface. This software Premiere Pro is vast and there is no limit to what you can do here. I'm telling you guys, and the good thing is Adobe keeps upgrading the software every blessed year. So if you found this video helpful, please subscribe. Click the subscribe button, press that bell icon and toggle all notifications so that whenever I drop content like this, you'll be the first to know. And most importantly guys, help this video reach 1000 likes and also share to other creative minds that will need such content. And if you are so interested in learning color grading, just click this video on your screen right now. I will see you in my next video.